I'm going to start today in the Limgrave mining tunnels. There's a bit of lore that needs to be discussed. What's being mined in these tunnels are the smithing stones used for upgrading our weapons. The thing about these stones is they're having an adverse side effect on the miners. Their skin is becoming rock hard and taking on a stony appearance. This causes many weapons to deflect off their skin. We will need to travel deeper into the mine to find the source of the skin petrification. The Stone Digger Troll is the boss of the tunnel. With the troll being a much larger creature, we can get a better look at its stone skin. The fight itself isn't important, it's the room we're standing in. What we're looking at is an impact crater. We fight more than a few creatures in the lands between that originate from the void of space. Some of them are quite old. The Onyx Lords are said to have risen after a meteor struck the lands between. They are described as having skin of stone. The Alabaster Lords are described the same way, and the ancient dragons are said to have formed a wall of living stone to protect their lord. Near the end of the game, we find the body of an ancient dragon, its body broken into pieces. There's no flesh or bone to the body, it just looks like a broken statue. The reality is, the ancient dragons are just living stone. The very magic that's turning the miner's skin to stone could have given rise to the ancient races. Magic has an innate ability to leach from a source into the environment. This alters the ground, the plants, the animals, and even the people who are exposed to it. A theme that runs all through Elden Ring is magic produces life. The Crucible, the Erd Tree, and the Scarlet Rot all produce life, and they are all incredibly powerful magic sources. On our way to the Weeping Peninsula, we come across the Waypoint Ruins. All ruins in Elden Ring have one great thing in common. They always contain a basement. A majority of the time, it's either a boss or a chest, and if you're lucky, you get both. This basement contains a mad pumpkin head. He was once a gladiator, but now he's just broken. The darkness inside his helmet helps stifle his panic. Unfortunately, it takes very little to set him off and start his mad rampage. The mad Pumpkinhead wasn't protecting an item, he was protecting a woman. We're introduced to the character named Selen. She's an exiled sorceress from Raya Lucaria Academy. She describes herself as a reviled apostate witch. We can give her the royal house scrolls we find during our journey. This adds to the inventory of spells she can teach us. She doesn't have much dialogue right now, but she is part of a very important questline. I made mention in the first video that we're going to interact with people who have incorporeal bodies. Selen is one of them. What we're seeing right here is not Selen's actual body. She has her own questline. We help her obtain a new body, and then help her get back into Raya Lucaria Academy. That won't be for a while, though. Now I head into the Weeping Peninsula. This is one of my favorite areas at the start of the game. Notice all the red flowers on the ground? We are getting ready to head into combat. There's a magic release when blood is shed. There's a couple references to an outer god, known only as the Formless Mother. The Lord of Blood heard her call out from the darkness, while he was just trying to survive another day in the subterranean shunning grounds. The Blood Fiends in the DLC found her in the middle of a battle. Every single drop of blood shed in physical combat may very well be an unintended sacrifice to her. Before I start this quest, I want to take a good look at what I'm dealing with. So we see a woman sitting on a rock. Not the most unusual thing to see. Next we see a broken down wagon with a few dead bodies. Maybe she was hiding under those sacks, crawled out after the attack. I should go talk to her. I bet she needs our help getting to safety. Oh look, a couple more bodies. What a very calm look on her face. She must do well under stress. Oh, look at that. Her face is obscured. We can't look her in the eye when we talk to her. I wonder whose blood that is on her dress.
Hello? Is somebody there? Might I bend your ear for a moment, please?
Not a hint of panic in the voice. How odd.
My name is Irina. I've escaped from Castle Morn to the south. The servants there have rebelled. I can't be sure what it is. My eyesight's been weak since birth, you see. But I swear I heard frightful howling from all over. My good father secreted me out the castle, but decided himself to stay. He says it's his duty. As commander.
Having poor eyesight is a valid reason for covering her eyes. The frightful howling is probably a clue. Good chance it's referencing the Howl of Shibriri.
I fear for father's life. The servants are full wrath, filled with hatred for every one of us. They've since come for every one of the companions I escaped with. They haven't spared a soul.
Except you, the one without a weapon and the poor eyesight, the weakest of the bunch. Her idea is to sit out in the open?
I fear it's no different at Castle Morn. Please, I implore you, would you mind taking a letter to my father? At the castle, my sole wish is that he escape, even if his honor should be the price. Please. I just want him to be safe. Thank you. Dearly. Then please, take this. Deliver it to my father, who remains in the castle, if you please.
How noble of her, thinking of her father's safety before herself. I see now what she's been doing. She's been sitting here this entire time, writing a letter blindfolded, while the companions she escaped with all got slaughtered. Have you noticed what's missing from the ground? There's not a single body of one of the servants that was chasing them. These servants defeated trained soldiers and then decided, we'll come back later and finish her off. This whole thing is being orchestrated to get to the commander. To figure out what's happening, we need to head further down the road. Here's one of our first clues, the yellow ember we loot off this body. We are immediately attacked by rats that look as if they have fire coming out of their eyes. Though we block the attack, we start picking up an ailment. That ailment is the frenzied flame. Now we can look at the yellow ember, an ember taken from the eye socket of a corpse, a sign that the deceased suffered from the flame of frenzy. This grape has ripened and burst. This was someone's infected eyeball. We find plants called the Eye of Yellow have started to bloom in the area. This area has become infected with the frenzied flame. We find enemies dressed in yellow, eyes burning with madness. This is the ailing village, a small settlement all infected with the frenzied flame. Notice their hands on their heads. We see something very similar in Castle Morn. Notice his yellow eyes, like Kale. After fighting through a small army of rats, we get the Flame of Frenzy spell. It allows the casting of the yellow Flame of Frenzy from the eyes, but also causes madness to build up. This village lies just outside the walls of Castle Morn. Madness is literally on their doorstep. There's a malevolent spirit in the lands between, and its name is Shibriri. He's referred to as the most reviled man in history. It's said that he had his eyes gouged out as punishment for the crime of slander, and with time, the blight of the Flame of Frenzy came to dwell in the empty sockets. Though his body's gone, his spirit does still inhabit the lands between. We will meet him at the very end of the game, and he will entice us. Not with riches or power, but through emotional manipulation. Shibriri is not the frenzied flame, just the instigator. He attempts to infect people by using their loved ones against them. Arena is going to be used to drive the commander mad. This story does not have a happy ending. Off to Castle Morn we go. Look, a large bloom of red flowers. I wonder what's coming. What's shooting at us is an enormous golem. Its size is both its strength and its weakness. There's a sword memorial right next to the castle. The siege of Castle Morn, a lone hero fights for his vengeance, only to fall at the hands of Lord Godfrey, the first Elden Lord of the Golden Order. It seems as if history is repeating itself. I don't see the Elden Lord around. I guess we'll have to play that role. Into Castle Morn we go. The first thing we're greeted with is a massive pile of bodies. This is a straightforward dungeon. We're just fighting straight to the commander.
There's a face I've not seen before. I'm Edgar, warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. But you can see how things have turned out. The menials have all rebelled. They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morn won't hold much longer. Take this, by way of apology. I see. From Arena. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured Sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands. If you see Arena, do tell her that her father will come for her once he's fulfilled his duty.
Now we go defeat the boss to progress the story. This is one of the servants at Castle Morn. Notice how it has its hands on the side of its head. It's staring at the ground, shaking. Something has affected its mind. It doesn't attack us. It probably doesn't even realize we're here. I have fought this boss on New Game Plus, and I've never realized you can actually summon Edgar. Let's see what he can do. The boss is Leonine, Misbegotten. Misbegotten is a reference to the Crucible. Before the age of the Erd Tree, there was the Crucible. They are similar in the fact that they both create life. Where they differ is the Crucible is not organized. The Crucible would create what is best described as humanoids. Beings that could have human characteristics, but could also have clawed hands and feet, tails, wings, and even horns. At one time, they were looked upon as being blessed by the Crucible. As the Golden Order came to power and eventually took over, their blessings were looked at more like a curse. Over the years, they were eventually relegated to just being servants. The Golden Order is more than just a group. It also describes what they did to the Crucible. The closest representation we have to the Crucible is a large mass of roots. When Queen Marika took control of the Elden Ring, the magical source of the Crucible, she started altering the ring, bringing order to chaos. Out of that process, the Great Tree formed. And over time, the Great Tree formed into the Erd Tree we see today. Grafted Blade Greatsword. The storied sword of Castle Morn. A Revenger's weapon. It is burdened with oceans of anger and regret. A lone surviving champion from a country now vanished, so determined to continue fighting that he claimed the swords of an entire clan of warriors. This is the sword Edgar stayed behind for a sword that sounds like it's been cursed. Let's return to Edgar now.
I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from those fallen creatures. I'm no longer bound by duty. Once I've rescued Arena, I will spend my remaining days with her. Thanks to you, I will be reunited with Arena and devote my remaining days to her. Arena has a gentle nature, though. I only hope it remains intact.
Oh no, something has happened to Irina. And the perpetrator conveniently left her sword right next to her body.
How could this be? My daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And that is how fate has answered. I'll find them. The foul wretches responsible for this. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them. Rest assured, Arena, it will be done.
What he's now feeling is the burden of anger and regret. Worrying about his honor doesn't seem so important now. We are seeing Edgar the Revenger be born, a man who's giving into the madness of the frenzied flame. We will meet again, Edgar, and it won't be as allies. This is where I'm ending the video. For this video, I cut out everything that wasn't lore discussion. My last few videos I didn't really like that much. I do hope you enjoyed this one more, and I hope you have a good week.